Tommy's Time-Twisting Tales, The Pharaoh's Secret. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Artifact. Tommy was spending a sunny Saturday afternoon at the town museum with his classmates. The museum was holding a special exhibition of ancient artifacts from around the world, and Tommy's teacher had arranged a field trip. The kids were excitedly exploring different sections of the museum, but Tommy was particularly fascinated by the artifacts from ancient Egypt. Tommy wandered through the dimly lit halls, his eyes wide with wonder as he gazed at the ancient treasures on display. He saw golden statues of gods and goddesses, beautifully painted pottery, and elaborate jewelry that sparkled under the museum lights. But one artifact caught his eye more than any other, a small, intricately carved stone that seemed to glow faintly in the glass case. As Tommy leaned in closer to get a better look, he felt a strange sensation, almost as if the stone was calling to him. He looked around to make sure no one was watching and gently pressed his hand against the glass. To his amazement, the glass seemed to dissolve away, allowing him to reach in and touch the stone. The moment his fingers brushed against the cool surface of the artifact, the ground beneath him began to shake. The stone emitted a blinding light, and Tommy felt himself being lifted off the ground. The museum around him faded away, replaced by a swirling vortex of colors and shapes. Tommy squeezed his eyes shut, holding onto the stone as tightly as he could. When the sensation finally stopped, Tommy opened his eyes and gasped. He was no longer in the museum. Instead, he found himself standing in the middle of a bustling marketplace, surrounded by people dressed in ancient Egyptian clothing. The air was filled with the sounds of merchants haggling, children playing, and the distant clatter of chariots. Tommy looked down and realized he was wearing traditional Egyptian attire as well. "Where am I?" Tommy wondered aloud, feeling a mix of excitement and confusion. Just then, a kind-faced scribe named Khepri noticed the bewildered boy and approached him. "You look lost, young one," Khepri said with a friendly smile. "My name is Khepri. Can I help you?" Tommy hesitated for a moment before deciding to trust the scribe. "My name is Tommy. I don't know how I got here. One moment, I was in a museum, and the next, I'm here." Khepri's eyes widened in recognition as he glanced at the glowing stone in Tommy's hand. "You must be holding the Eye of Ra," he said in awe. "It is a powerful artifact that can transport its bearer through time. Come with me to the Pharaoh's palace. He will know what to do." Chapter 2, The Pharaoh's Palace. Tommy followed Khepri through the winding streets of ancient Egypt, marveling at the sights and sounds around him. He saw towering pyramids in the distance, their golden tips gleaming in the sunlight. The air was filled with the scent of exotic spices and the distant music of flutes and drums. Despite the strangeness of his situation, Tommy couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and excitement. As they approached the Pharaoh's palace, Tommy's eyes widened at the grandeur of the structure. The palace was a sprawling complex of white stone, adorned with intricate carvings and colorful murals depicting scenes of Egyptian life and mythology. Guards in golden armor stood at the entrance, their eyes watchful as they allowed Khepri and Tommy to pass. Inside, the palace was even more magnificent. The walls were lined with gold and precious stones, and the air was cool and fragrant with the scent of lotus flowers. Servants hurried to and fro, carrying trays of food and pitchers of wine. In the center of the grand hall sat Pharaoh Akhenaten, resplendent in his royal robes and headdress. Khepri bowed deeply before the pharaoh. "Your Majesty, I bring before you a traveler from another time," he said, gesturing to Tommy. "He holds the Eye of Ra." The pharaoh's eyes lit up with interest as he studied the boy and the glowing stone in his hand. "Welcome, Tommy," he said in a regal yet kindly voice. "You are indeed a rare and honored guest. The Eye of Ra is a powerful and ancient artifact, lost to us for centuries. It is said to grant its bearer great wisdom and power." Tommy felt a mix of awe and trepidation as he listened to the pharaoh's words. "What should I do with it?" he asked. Pharaoh Akhenaten leaned forward, his expression serious. The Eye of Ra is incomplete. It is missing a piece that holds the key to its full power. Legend has it that only the Sphinx knows the location of the missing piece. If you are willing, Tommy, you can help us find it. Tommy nodded eagerly. I'll do whatever I can to help. The pharaoh smiled. Very well. Khepri will accompany you on your journey. May the gods guide and protect you. Chapter 3: The Riddle of the Sphinx. As night fell, Tommy and Khepri set out on their journey to the Sphinx. The desert was cool and quiet, with only the sound of their footsteps breaking the stillness. The moonlight cast long shadows across the sand, and the stars twinkled like diamonds in the clear night sky. After several hours of walking, they finally reached the Great Sphinx, its massive stone face gazing solemnly across the desert. The Sphinx was an awe-inspiring sight, its body stretching out into the darkness, and its eyes seeming to hold ancient secrets. Khepri approached the Sphinx and bowed respectfully. Great Sphinx, we seek the missing piece of the Eye of Ra. Will you guide us? The Sphinx's eyes seemed to glimmer with amusement as it regarded the two travelers. In a deep, rumbling voice, it spoke. To find what you seek, you must answer my riddle. Fail, and you shall not proceed. Succeed, and the path will be revealed. Tommy stepped forward, his heart pounding. We're ready, he said bravely. The Sphinx nodded and intoned the riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Tommy furrowed his brow, thinking hard. He repeated the riddle to himself, trying to find the hidden meaning. Suddenly, he remembered a similar riddle he had heard back home. With a confident smile, he answered, an echo. The Sphinx's stone lips curled into a faint smile. You are correct, young one, it said. You have proven your wisdom. The missing piece of the Eye of Ra lies within a hidden chamber beneath me. It is yours to claim. With that, the ground beneath the Sphinx rumbled, and a hidden entrance opened at its base. Tommy and Khepri cautiously entered the dark chamber, their torches casting flickering shadows on the walls. At the center of the chamber, resting on a stone pedestal, was the missing piece of the Eye of Ra, a small, golden disc inscribed with ancient symbols. Tommy carefully placed the disc into the Eye of Ra, and the artifact began to glow with a brilliant light. The chamber was filled with a warm, radiant energy, and Tommy felt a surge of power and knowledge flow through him. Chapter 4: Return to the Present. With the Eye of Ra complete, Tommy and Khepri made their way back to the pharaoh's palace. As they entered the grand hall, Pharaoh Akhenaten rose to greet them, his eyes shining with gratitude. You have done well, Tommy, the pharaoh said. The Eye of Ra is whole once more, thanks to your bravery and wisdom. As a token of our gratitude, I present you with this amulet. Whenever you hold it, you will always find your way back to friends. Tommy accepted the amulet with a grateful smile. Thank you, Your Majesty. I've had an incredible adventure, and I've learned so much. The pharaoh nodded. May your journey through life be filled with many more adventures and discoveries. As Tommy held the amulet and the Eye of Ra, the ancient stone began to glow once more. In a flash of light, Tommy felt himself being lifted off the ground, the palace and its inhabitants fading away. When the light subsided, he found himself back in the museum, standing in front of the same exhibit. Tommy looked around, realizing that no time had passed since he touched the artifact. He was still holding the amulet, a tangible reminder of his incredible journey. Smiling to himself, Tommy knew that he had made new friends and uncovered secrets of the past. As he left the museum, Tommy couldn't wait to tell his friends about his amazing adventure through time. And he knew that, with the amulet in his possession, he was ready for whatever adventures the future might hold.